All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another night. Tonight is night 9 of a Read Aloud with Dr. Ivey. Good evening, my name is Trevor Ivey, and I'm an educator here in Sumter County in the great state of South Carolina. And I, along with so many other educators, are stepping outside of our comfort zone to completely redesign teaching and learning experiences for our children to make sure that they remain engaged in this very trying time during the spread of the coronavirus while we're all out of school. And so to that end, what I have decided to do is to engage in a nightly read aloud with an entire family, not just children, but this is designed to be an engaging event with parents, older siblings, young boys and girls, and even our fuzzy friends. And so we are on night 9 of our Read Aloud. Just to kind of bring you up to speed, if you are just joining us for the first night, we do roll call each night around 7:55. And so part of that engagement activity is for you to comment in the section below. Just a couple of things to kind of get us warmed up and ready for our Read Aloud. If you're comfortable sharing your name, your scholar's names, that would be your child, the location that you're joining us from, and then there'll always be a question that I pose to you to ask your scholar to kind of get their mental juices flowing as to what our Read Aloud is going to be tonight. So if you haven't taken a moment to put your comments into the comment section below, please do that. Our roll call question for tonight is to ask your scholar, what is a mystery? So I enjoyed seeing some of the comments come in. I saw Bennett's comment come in, Carolina's comment, and Mary's comment. So keep those comments coming in on what is a mystery. Last night was a very special night because I shared with you one of my all-time favorite children's book authors. His name is Peter Reynolds. In one of his newest books, it was titled Happy Dreamer. And that book was very special to me because it's really important, boys and girls, that you dream and that you dream really big. Regardless of what others may tell you about your dreams, a lot of times you just don't have to listen to some of the negativity that may be around you. And that is what our main character really kind of encountered in this book. And it made him a very happy dreamer. And so on our challenge from last night, I asked that you come up with your own dreamer promotion. And I got several entries that came in today. And I believe the entry that is posted on our page today comes from Andrew. And Andrew is actually a high school student who has been joining us for our nightly read alouds. And I will let you go back and look at his big dream, but he has an athletic dreamer about him. So thank you, Andrew, and all the other boys and girls who shared what kind of dreamer they are. So boys and girls, let's gather around for our nightly read aloud with Dr. Ivey on this 9th day of school closure. The book that I have selected for you today is a mystery. Well, yes, that kind of goes with the question that I was asking you in the roll call for tonight. The title of our book is The Case of the Missing Chalk Drawings. And on our front cover of the book, how many names do you observe on the front cover of the book? That's only one name. And the name on the front cover of the book is Richard Byrne. And boys and girls, you may remember that good readers always do a picture walk before they engage in their reading activity. And they want to make sure that they can identify certain elements of this text. And so one of the elements that I always have been asking you to identify is the author and the illustrator. And in this case, because the book's cover only has one name on it, we can assume that both the author and the illustrator, that would be the person who is writing the book, and the person who is drawing the pictures are both the same person. So my next question to you is, How can we classify this book? Books can be classified as either fiction or nonfiction, broadly speaking. What do you think this book can be classified as? That's right, boys and girls, it is a fiction book. And we know that it is fiction because there are illustrations on the front cover and they tell us that this story is made up for a particular purpose. So what do you predict is going to happen in our book, The Case of the Missing Chalk Drawings by Richard Byrne? Let's find out. The Chalks were having fun drawing when Mrs. Red called them in for lunch. Ooh. But when the Chalks came back from lunch, they were surprised to find that all the flowers are gone. Boys and girls, what happened to the flowers? Look at the flowers on the page before. There were so many of them. What happened from the front page to the second page? They're gone. What a mystery. Let's find out what's happening in our book. The Chalks then started a new drawing, but this time Mrs. Red also made a really big red fence. I wonder why Mrs. Red made a big red fence. Do you know why? Let's find out. That should keep the flowers safe while we go in for a story, she said. But boys and girls, it didn't. After story time, the flowers were gone again. And so was the fence. Someone is stealing our drawings, said all of the Chalks. What color chalks do you see in our book? I see red, I see yellow, I see orange. Don't forget about blue. Oh, and then there is pink. Sergeant Blue came to investigate, and quickly he noted some important evidence. The culprit is this tall and very dusty. Look at Sergeant Blue coming in his police car that is colored blue. And he said that the culprit, boys and girls, is this tall. Do you know what culprit is? Culprit would be the suspect. But he also said that he found evidence that the culprit was dusty. Let's keep reading. So Sergeant Blue rounded up some suspicious looking characters. And look at all the characters, boys and girls, that he rounded up. We've got the pencil. What is that? We've got the glue. Who's this character? Scissors. And what about this one? The ruler. And what's that one? The paintbrush, that's right. And then we have this one here, the eraser. And then what's this one right here? The blue piece of chalk. But Sergeant Blue has this to say about each of the characters. For the pencil, he says it's too thin. For the glue, he says it's too small. For the scissors, it's too pointy. For the paintbrush, Sergeant Blue says it's too hairy. And for the last one, he says, please turn around. Uh-oh. He's got a dusty red bottom. Oh my goodness, boys and girls. His backside is his bottom. And look at how dusty it is. And remember back to our crime scene earlier, it said that the character had dust. Let's keep reading to find out. Sergeant Blue announces, case closed. But before Sergeant Blue could put the culprit in prison, the robber fled in a cloud of dust. So you see the culprit? It was the blue piece of chalk, he thought. But before he could even notice, he was gone. Let's keep reading, boys and girls. So the chalks all started to chase the robber, but they could not catch him. Look at all of the movement the chalks made. Do you see that, boys and girls? The chalks all of a sudden were stumped. Do you know what stumped means, boys and girls? It means that they didn't know what was going on anymore. We also have some clues on the page that tells us that. See the bubbles coming up from their head with nothing in them? They don't know what's going on. So fortunately, Sergeant Blue had a backup plan. Let's find out what his backup plan is. When the robber came upon a new drawing that he couldn't resist, what was it? It was a rainbow. And look who it is that got lured in. It says, "Rainbow, here I come." The chalks suddenly leaped out from their hiding places. "Robber, I caught you now!" Look at all of the chalks coming together. Who is the culprit now, boys and girls? Do you know who it is? It's the eraser. So the chalkboard eraser felt wrongly accused. "I'm not a robber, I'm an eraser. You draw stuff and then I erase it. Then you can draw more stuff," said the eraser. The chalks felt very guilty. They had realized they made a terrible mistake. Sergeant Blue knew just how to make things right. They should all chase the eraser again. But this time, just for fun. Look who came in first place. That was a great book, boys and girls. I am so glad that you enjoyed it. I hope you did. So let me check to see who was being a good listener. So what was the mystery that was being solved in our book tonight? Do you know what our mystery was? We were trying to find out who kept doing all of the erasing. That beautiful sidewalk art that you see in the beginning of the book, the beautiful pictures that they made with the flowers, and even the red fence couldn't keep the culprit away. And so eventually, at the end, what does Sergeant Blue do to draw the suspect, the real suspect in? That's right, and he puts a rainbow. He has all of the chalks join in to make a rainbow to draw the real suspect in. And so when that was something that the real suspect just couldn't resist, and he came in and he found out what was he doing. But did the eraser, who was the suspect, did he really feel that he was doing something wrong? No, he didn't. Because after all, he was doing what an eraser is supposed to do, which is to erase things. And so have you ever been in a situation before where you may have felt wrongly accused of something? I've been in that situation before. Sometimes we jump to conclusions about other people's actions before stopping to think about what it is that actually happened, or even ask that person what was their perspective. And I think that that's how the eraser felt in our book, The Case of the Missing Chalk Drawings. So the key to our book tonight is to never really assume something unless you have like really solid proof, and we call that evidence, right? So you always have to think about what is someone's true intentions before you actually make a conclusion about what it is that they did. So boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed that book tonight. Our challenge for tonight, what do you think it's going to involve? That's right, it is going to involve some sidewalk chalk. And so what I have in front of me right here is some sidewalk chalk. And what I would like for you to do is, this will be an activity that will get you a little bit out of the house if it's safe, and maybe near an area where it is safe to draw on. And I want you to think about the situation that we are in today as a community, as a state, and as a country, and even all around the world. You know, there's a reason why we're not able to go outside and to do a lot of things or go to school, because it's not really safe right now because of the coronavirus. And so we have all been encouraged by our community leaders, our state leaders, our nation's leaders, and to stay inside and to practice that social distancing so that we can slow the spread of the virus. And so unfortunately, there are lots of people you may have seen on the news who may not be following that directive from our leaders. And so what I'd like you to do is I want you to take this on as a mystery. And so our mystery that you are going to solve is the sidewalk challenge, chalk challenge. And so our problem is to help to persuade others to do their part to solve the virus. And so using our engineering design process that we've been working on the last several days with some of our read alouds, I want you to create a sidewalk chalk illustration that shows just one way that you can encourage others to help solve this problem that we are facing. And so there are all sorts of ways that you can take this challenge on. I would encourage you, if you have sidewalk chalk, to do it with sidewalk chalk. Take pictures of your illustration, and if you can, record a video of you explaining what your creation is encouraging us to do. And just like in the engineering design process, the last step is to present our solution and for it to be evaluated by a real expert. And so lucky for you, I think that I saw the chair of our county council joining us on our read aloud tonight, Chairman Jim McCain. So we may ask him to help pick out the best sidewalk chalk drawing that promotes a solution on how to solve this problem. Maybe your illustration is going to encourage us how to practice social distancing. Maybe your illustration is going to promote how to wash our hands and to do so frequently. Maybe you have an idea that you want to illustrate for a vaccination for the virus. And so whatever it is that you are imagining, I want you to create your public service announcement in the form of sidewalk chalk. If you don't have sidewalk chalk, you can easily do this on paper with marker and crayon. But again, I encourage you to have your parent, an older sibling, take a picture, record your explanation for your public service announcement and send to me. And we will get a real expert to evaluate your public service announcement. Remember, boys and girls, we keep hearing that we all have to do our part. And so that's not just the grown people. That's just not the older folks that have to do their part. That involves everybody on this planet, all 7 billion of us. That's right. Did you know there are 7 billion people that are facing this problem with the coronavirus? And so what I want you to do is to take an active role in presenting a solution to solve the coronavirus spread. And so I can't wait to see all of your solutions that you send in. Make sure to send those to our Facebook Messenger page. You can email those to me at trevorivey@gmail.com. You can also send those through Instagram or Twitter. So boys and girls, before we start our reflection questions for tonight, I just want to remind you of our cupcake challenge. and our cookie challenge. Don't forget that if you are participating in that, your pictures and or videos should be submitted to me by tomorrow, no later than 4 o'clock. We'll be posting all of the pictures and videos that we have on the Facebook page, and we'll be asking the public to help decide who our winner is, who has the most creative design, like Alfie or like Nancy from our Read Alouds earlier this week. There are still lots of family fun packs at Baker Sweets. I've encouraged you to support small businesses in our community, and you can do so by visiting them on Alice Drive at their location. The cost of the kit is only $10, and this is a way that you can actually participate in a fun activity at home with your scholar and make the most of this time indoors. And so with that, boys and girls, let's go ahead and begin our reflection for tonight. You know, there are 4 questions that Dr. Ivey wants to ask you, and this is designed for parents to participate as well. So question number 1, what was your favorite part about today? What was your favorite part about today? Tell your parent, your older sibling, your fuzzy friend, or your sibling, what was your favorite part about today? Well, for me, boys and girls, the favorite part about my day today was that I got to go and visit with my nieces today. I had to go and just see if they needed any help with their e-learning activities. I was so proud of Lily and Kerrigan for having all of their assignments done. That was the favorite part about my day today. All right, question number 2. What was the least favorite part about your day today? What was your least favorite part? Tell your parent, tell your older sibling or your fuzzy friend. For me, boys and girls, the least favorite part about my day today was that I didn't have time to run out to get the eggs that I needed again. Remember, I ran out of eggs yesterday. And so that was, again, the least favorite part about my day today. I've got to remember to go get those eggs. I won't have any breakfast. All right, number 3. If you could go back and change one thing about today, what would you change? What would you change? Well, one thing that I would change is I would probably have eaten just a little bit more for lunch because I am really hungry right now. That's one thing that I would change. What's one thing that you would change? All right, last question, number 4. What's one thing that you hope is going to happen tomorrow? What's one thing you hope is going to happen tomorrow? Tomorrow is Friday. It marks our 2nd week of being out of school. What's one thing you hope is going to happen tomorrow? Well, for me, boys and girls, one thing I hope that is going to happen tomorrow is that I get all of my work done because it is a regular day and I have a lot of work that I need to get done. So I hope that I will wake up tomorrow and feel really productive to get all of my work done. So boys and girls, remember on this 9th day of school closure, to be someone, to be somebody, but to be somebody more. If no one has told you that they love you today, remember Dr. Ivey is here to tell you that he loves you. So enjoy the rest of your evening. I look forward to getting your pictures and videos of your sidewalk chalk challenge. I want to give a big shout out to the 9 boys and girls who have already submitted pictures and videos of their cupcakes and cookies. That will be Harrison, Cody, Lily, Kerrigan, Carisi, Autumn, Randy, Caroline, and Andrew. We have your pictures and videos. So we would love to get 11 more to have 20. So remember to send those to me tomorrow. Parents, if you are looking for other Read Alouds on social media, I have 3 other education leaders that I'd like to share with you. The first is our local superintendent, Dr. Martin Knox, is doing a nightly Read Aloud. So I would encourage you to check out the Sumter School District Facebook page to see her read aloud. Another educator in the upstate, Jed Derryberry, does a activity every day at 9 o'clock that involves a read aloud. And then for older scholars out there that would like to learn a little bit more about the biology behind the pandemic that we are currently facing, Check out my friend in Lexington. She is a high school biology teacher, Sally Ortman. She does Science with Sal. So check out those educators if you are looking for some other activities to do. Don't forget to get your sidewalk chalk. Can't wait to see all of the wonderful solutions that we'll get. Have a great evening, boys and girls. Remember to wash your hands.